by having a combination of different electrical generating capabilities is good. Summer, you have the sun, of course, is higher in the sky, so you're going to get more hours of sun, so you're going to generate more power then. Whereas in the wintertime, when the sun's lower in the sky, of course, you'll generate less. But if you had a wind turbine, you'd be able to, you know, at that point, you know, help kind of offset that. But, you know, it's funny, I mean, not funny, but I was reading the other day, analysts were saying that, energy analysts were saying that in the next, well, by 2008, they expect to have 50% of American homes have some sort of electrical generating capacity. Really? Which is amazing, yeah, and I'm all for it.
Well, do you think because it's a big, all the the different storms we've had, that people have been out of power for so long? I mean, they're getting tired of days on end. It's not just a few hours. They're out of power for, what, 2-3 days sometimes.
Right. Yeah, well, you know, if you have your own generating capacity, yeah, you're going to be able to mostly, you know, maybe hedge your bets a little bit from that sort of thing with storms. But I was just having this conversation with someone the other day, but because if you're net metering, though, if you're not supplying instant power, you know, when the storm's down, in other words, if you're, you know, you might be able to keep your refrigerator running and some things, you know, and have a limited amount of power with solar panels on your roof during the day of a power outage. Sure. All right, but at nighttime, obviously there's no sun, and because you've net metered back into the utility, all right, if they're shut down, they can't provide you that power, even though it's yours, it belongs to you because you've already generated. Sure. All right, they can't supply it to you. So, you know, but that's, yeah, that's one consideration.
I've always been trying to understand anyway how in the world we get electricity and all that stuff. I mean, I don't understand it. I know, yes, you get poles up there and all that, but and I guess sometimes we hear how we buy electricity from Canada. You know.
Yeah.
Well, okay. I mean, I guess I just don't understand it.
There's power stations, you know, all over the place. I mean, we have one here in Bow, you know, the coal-fired plant that's been a source of controversy. Yeah. You know, you know, millions of dollars that were just spent for the new smokestack. Yeah. Where, you know, quite frankly, the money would have been better served rather than, you know, try to invest in a, you know, old technology, a depleting resource like coal. To spend that kind of money to continue to pollute the environment, when that money could have been used to subsidize renewables even more so. Really? Than and you know you could have created a grid, a super grid here in New Hampshire, at least through the major areas, for the kind of money that they spent for the coal-fired plant, that would have allowed generation of electrical generating residential scenarios to be able to feed back into the grid, because that's one thing our transmission lines aren't able to you know, necessarily handle on an on-peak scenario during the day, the amount of electrical generation that can be fed back for others. In other words, to produce more power than you use right now doesn't make sense, and that's why sizing a unit, all right, to be able to provide you what you need and not more than that is important.
It's just so
Have I lost you?
Well, you lost me, yeah, but it's okay because it gives me more questions, because it's very interesting trying to figure out all this. I mean, I was never one to be in science anyway. Right. Now I wish I had, but anyway, but trying to figure all that out, because here we go. It's so easy at home, plug it in, whatever you need for power. Right. But how did it get there? You know, and of course you always hear, don't go near bare wires because they get electrocuted, that type of thing or something. You know, it's always, you wonder, how does it work? And yes, you're right, all the power that's being generated for a city or whatever it takes, it's amazing.
Yeah, and it's dirty. That's the thing. That's where my passion is. You know, we're creating our energy in a dirty way that is like I said, you know, and I'm not, you know, an environmentalist in a way that, you know, I understand that, you know, we're used to our way of doing business, okay, and that we can't just tomorrow turn off the faucet, of dirty fuel. But we have to move in that direction.
Yeah.
It has to, you know, and we are. You know, I'm not the first person that's ever sat here promoting, you know, what we need to do, but it's like I said, it's necessary. It's you know, it's hard because quoting Al Gore is kind of a tough thing, okay? Because he obviously is, I mean, the man is an environmentalist. He has been all along. He hasn't changed his tune. Sure. I know he's invested in clean companies and things, and some people think there's a conflict there, but I think the man is passionate about wanting to, he understands the science, he understands what's happening, and he is invested in some companies that, you know, that are going in that direction. I see nothing wrong with that. That's a great capitalistic approach as well to doing the right thing.
Sure.
But Al Gore had it right. He says we have a moral, now that the science isn't disputed, all right, at this point we have a moral obligation to do what's right.
Sure.
And get it done. Otherwise we're shooting ourselves, and our future generations, posterity, will suffer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. So what do you hope, now what, in your position, where do you go from here? Okay, now are you out there trying to educate people about this, trying to get the products? I mean, what is your position, Mike?
Well, I'm affiliated with a couple of different outfits that promote renewables. I also get on roofs myself, and I also install.
Yeah.
In fact, that's my passion. Also, I like to get my hands dirty and get it done. But I also know that there's the sales end of it counts. You know, and it's, when I say sales, from an educational standpoint.
Yeah.
You know, people need to be educated. They need to understand what's out there and what's available to them that they might not know. They need to know that the technology is advanced, and that it makes sense to put solar panels on their homes and wind turbines, you know, on their property, and building a home using geothermal. And so that's again, I think you can't just focus on one area. This is too important to not try to cover it all, and that's what I'm trying to do.
You talk about solar panels like that. I know that we've seen some of the newer houses today being built. They have got the solar panels, the windows up there on the roof and stuff to do just that. You know.
Yeah.
Now, wasn't it there back of the government hoping that, weren't they giving credits to people if they were switching over to that in solar power or no?
Well,
I think there was some incentive to do that.
There is. Like I was mentioning, when I had calculated the 2.25 kilowatt system the other day for the home show here in Concord. Yeah. You know, $16,000 was the list price for a 10-panel system. Yeah. And would, or after credits, the federal tax credit of 30%. You know, you're talking $4,800 off that, which brings you down to $11,200. Yeah. Then the Public Utilities Commission is offering $3 per watt for the system. So a 2.25 kilowatt system, 225 watts, which would give you know, more than $6,000. But there's a cap at $6,000. So if you take the $6,000 off the $11,200, all right, you're down to $5,000 for a system. All right, that is warranted, for example. I mean, I won't mention any particular outfit here, but you know, it's warranted for 25 years, and that you know, will provide free energy and have it and be paid for in no time, and help you know, us, you know, move the customer, all right, to become more energy independent, off foreign oil. You know, don't have to dig up as many dinosaurs. All right. Yeah. And you know, millions-year-old plants for the coal, and start, like I said, moving us more towards energy independence.
Well, what gets me is we heard for years that the Alaskan pipeline. Where is it? You know, that was going to supply oil and all that stuff. I mean,
domestic, sure.
What happened to it?
Well,
I don't know. I haven't heard much about that for years.
Yeah. Peak oil has happened in the United States. As a matter of fact, it happened in the early 90s. You know, we can drill, baby, drill all we want, but we're already past the half point of half fullness. You know, for oil in America. In fact, we're